Oh, beautiful day here in Jalisco, Mexico. We normally do our lives on Sunday, and I don't remember why we didn't do a live last Sunday. I think it was because, look at my little girls. Isn't this thing so cute? You put the little mini Barbies in there. They're like Chelsea ones. It's really old. I can spin around on it. But we didn't do a live last Sunday, I think because I was so tired from getting back from vacation and everything else going on. But normally our lives are on Sunday, so I'm glad I could get back to it. My husband will be over here in just a second. Oh, and let me just... Hi everybody. Thank you so much. From Tennessee. Oh wow. Tennessee is so beautiful. Hi, hola everybody. I'm drinking, they're called it's like a cranberry juice, but it doesn't have any extra sugar in it. And so it's like sweet for me, but it's not bad for me. It's like pure cranberry. I love it. Hi from Michigan, Honolulu. Oh wow. Hi everybody. Happy Sunday from Guadalajara. Oh my gosh. How do you survive driving in Guadalajara? Okay, because my husband's a good driver, and I was curious like on the way home because we put the address into maps. And so I'm kind of holding the map phone up, but I'm trying to read the directions to him as well while he's trying to look, but watch for traffic. We took 3 wrong exits because they're not labeled the same as they are on maps on my phone. And I was thinking in my head, I wonder how many people have like separated because of maps, because like it drives you nuts. Okay, that's one of the times me and my husband will start arguing is when one of us has to read directions, which is always me reading it because I would never drive in that traffic. Absolutely not. Hi everybody, oh, from El Paso, Texas. Hola. And my husband will be out in just a minute, guys. Hello from South Dakota, from California. Your hair looks great. Thank you so much. I did cut it a little bit into layers because I just wanted to get all the dead ends off, and it is so much healthier. And I swear it was short. It was like to here. So much has grown back already. From northern Utah, hola. You do get used to traffic in Guadalajara, but in Mexico City, it is so worth. I can't even imagine how people function in that type of traffic. I can't imagine, and I can't vlog it for you guys because my husband's yelling at me to follow the map directions. So I can't even take out my phone to vlog. It's horrid. Oh, thank you so much. Lubbock, Texas. Oh, that is so cool. A lot of you guys are from Texas. When you come to an intersection, we honk, close our eyes, and go. I think that's what they do. I think because like everybody's honking, and I'm like, hon, why are they honking? It's a red light. Like we literally can't do anything. Lalo is a hardcore driver. He is. He makes me nervous. Like he can survive it, but he's on edge. And then he blames me for the way people in Guadalajara drive. And I'm like, this is not me. The map is saying it's exit, whatever, but there's no exit sign. It's terrible. Hi, Erin, I have an appointment tomorrow at the Chicago Consulate for permanent residency through my kids who are dual citizens. Please pray for us. Yes, I will be praying for you. And anybody else who sees that, please pray for her that she can get that. That's so wonderful. I hope you get it. In the Chicago, oh, I've actually been in that consulate in Chicago. It's not too bad, and the area is really pretty. Vicky, Aaron's mom. Oh, is my mom on here? Oh my gosh, not my mom, you guys. Not my mom. Okay, and let me tell you guys something. My mom is an MRI tech. She's been an MRI tech for a lot, like 20 years. And when I went to get Abby's MRI done, I thought all MRI machines were the same. Because even though my mom's an MRI tech, she doesn't like come home talking about the MRI machines. You know, she might talk about work drama or something, but I thought they were the same. So when we went to the MRI machine to get Abby's knee done, they sent us they put the photos into a big package, and I sent my mom the photos, and she's like, she messaged me back and she's like, first of all, Erin, that's upside down and backwards. And I'm like, well, how am I supposed to know? It looks the right way. So I flip it the right way, and she's like, that says 0.3. And she's like, there is no way that's a 0.3 scanner. Like, they don't even use those anymore. And I was like, Mom, I don't know what that means. And she's like, that is the lowest like MRI you can ever get. And I was like, nobody in my whole life ever informed me that MRI machines are different and you have to shop around to get a good MRI. So my mom's funny because I'm like, why didn't she think to tell me? But in the same area in Ocotlán, there's one that's a 1.5T, and that's a sharper image, and that's the one we're gonna have to go to. So that was really frustrating to go back to the doctors. Oh, my mom is on here. But Mom, why wouldn't you tell me that information in life? Why wouldn't you come home one day and be like, listen, if you ever have to get an MRI, make sure you ask what type of MRI machine. I'm sure she never thought as I was growing up that I was gonna end up in Mexico and need to ask about the MRI machines. MRI is cheaper here. Even for the really better ones, you're looking at about 500 to 800 for like the top of the line best ones, which I don't think is too bad. We just didn't know. And it kind of sucked because it felt like we wasted a whole entire day of the MRI and then a whole entire day of the doctors. And the doctor did apologize. He's like, I should have told you. But you know what I think, you guys? When we first seen the doctor, I think he thought Abby was kind of being like a baby because he couldn't feel anything on her knee where it hurt. And so I don't know if he necessarily fully believed that anything was wrong. But when we got the MRI images back, even though they weren't great, he could see this gray area on her kneecap. And because when he put the images up at first, he didn't say anything about them being blurry until he put one of the big cards up and he seen this gray spot, and he looked and he pointed to it and he goes, do you see this right here? He goes, that's what could be causing her pain. But he's like, it's not clear enough. And he's like, where'd you guys get this? And I was like, you said to get it in Ocotlán, like where we lived. And he's like, I'm sorry. He's like, I should have gave you a better place to get it done. So now I think he believes that Abby's knee actually does hurt. And that happened when she was a little girl too. She walked on her tiptoes and the doctor did not believe me. He was like, she's doing that because she wants your attention. Because I just had Cristiano and he was a baby. And so when Abby tells me something hurts, I know Abby loves to dance and be out and about with her friends. Abby does not want to be, yes, Mom, it was a 0.3T. Now we know. My mom's on here, you guys. But it's a little bit frustrating because sometimes when kids are younger, because these doctors don't know your kids personally, sometimes they brush it off because she's not in any high active sport. She's in dance, but I just don't think he believed that she was in that much pain. I think that's why he didn't care where we got the MRI done. And now he's like, oh wait, you do need to get a better MRI. So that was a bit frustrating. He's such a great doctor. And I know doctors they do this all day long, so they're kind of just going with the flow and trying to get through patients and stuff. But he did subscribe her medication that's supposed to build up her cartilage. And I'll tell Lalo to grab that so I can show you guys what it's called. That has seemed to help a little tiny bit. And my mom's saying, I don't know why you didn't call me. Mom, I didn't know to call. I didn't know there was a need to ask. I thought every single MRI machine was like legit. Because, you know, I grew up in the United States where if you need an MRI, you go to the hospital and you trust the MRI machine that's there. You don't ask them, well, what kind of MRI machine is this? At least I don't think so. But here in Mexico, the MRI machines can be at, so like you could have a radiologist who bought an MRI machine and is having it at his house, and it's like a private practice type thing. There's lots of them. So I just didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. Exactly, mother. That's what you guys are telling that to my mom because she's on here listening right now. Yes, I hope Abby does get better soon. The other thing is, okay, when do the kids go back to school at the Rancho? Abby starts next week. I haven't even got her full uniform yet. She starts next week. And I haven't got the other kids' uniform yet. And they start the week after. Yes, they do have full dental offices inside of homes. Yes. And now I'm thinking like, geez, when you go to the dentist and get like x-rays and stuff, are the x-ray machines, do you have to ask, can you truly see a cavity with the x-ray machine you have? Like, I don't know now. Yes, in the USA, you still should know. The closed MRI give clear images versus the open MRI. Yeah, the one my daughter was in was an open MRI, and they didn't let me go back there with her. Maybe there's a reason for that, but Abby just told me it was open. Jacqueline V73, thank you so much. Abby did tell me it was open, and she said they didn't give her earplugs. She's like, it was so loud, Mom, and I had to sit there for an hour. And I was like, normally they cover your ears, or they have music playing or something. They didn't even cover her ears. Therapy for her knee. So we'll know next appointment if Abby will need therapy for her knee or not. No, the doctor was not pushy on surgery whatsoever. He just said he needs to know what that gray area is because it could be some sort of lesion in her knee. And he said depending on what the image shows him, the clear image, he'll know if she's going to need physical therapy or if she's going to need surgery or not. Yeah, Abby went to a Sketchy imagist. I think that's what they call it. My daughter in California had an MRI on back, no earplugs. Yeah, that's weird. Because like I said, my mom's an MRI tech, and she's like, it can hurt your eardrums if you don't have something to like block out the noise. That's something else I didn't know that she could have informed me of. No, you can't wear ear pods, but we're saying, shouldn't they have to cover your ears when you get an MRI? Like, don't they put something over your ears so that you're not hearing that loud noise of the MRI? Yeah, no, the Abby's was open because I asked her, I was like, you did really good. And she's like, yeah, it was open. And I was like, that's weird. I was like, every MRI machine I've seen, they have to, it's like a big tube, but it wasn't closed. Yes, a closed MRI machine is still open, but the machine is longer. It covers the entire body. Yeah, usually music because a bunch of humming. Yeah, they didn't put any music for her. Yes, Abby is going to school. She is so excited. She's starting prepa. That would be considered high school. So really, oh, careful.
Sorry, every time.
Every time.
Not everyone.
Abby would be going into 10th grade in the United States, but they don't start high school till 10th grade here in Mexico. So it's considered the first year of high school. Usually if you go in head first, but for your knee, they might place you on the other side too. Okay. I had an MRI done, but they put headphones on me with Christian music playing. Thank God, because it was extremely loud.
What are you guys talking about?
Oh, the MRI. People are saying I went to a sketchy MRI place. And I did. I mean, I wouldn't say it was sketchy.
Honestly,
it was...
did you get any video there while we were there?
No, the receptionist was like eyeing us.
Nothing about the place where we went was sketchy. So it wasn't like you know what I mean, where we are like aware, like maybe this isn't the place to be, or I mean nothing about it. It was like a really nice office. The lady was really nice.
She was nice, but I didn't feel like I could film in there.
Yeah.
She was like watching us because we
Yeah.
brought all of our kids. Annabelle probably gave her the mean eye. Moving forward, this gives you experience. Yes, 100%. If I would let myself, I would have left Mexico by now from all the hardships I've hit just from not culturally knowing anything when I first got here. And my husband, even though he was born here, he didn't culturally know anything about Mexico or the Rancho. He's trying to put on the live so he can read your guys' comments, but if I were to let that like really hurt me and not be like, you know what, I'm gonna learn from this and we can do it again and we're blessed to do that, then Mexico would have broke me by now.
There's just a lot that you're not used to. You know what I'm saying? You're used to certain comforts and knowing where everything's at and you know, certain standards, I guess. But, you know, it's just a learning curve, just like anywhere else. It's like, you know, if we would have moved to China, I'm sure we would have, you know what I mean, dealt with the same things.
I'm a secretary of outpatient physical therapy for 34 years. They have a home exercise program to search for Achilles tendons. It's pretty easy exercise to do at home versus the clinic. That would be wonderful if you could email that to me. I would love to start that with Abby. You don't know until you know. The best doctors and specialists I've seen in my life were in Mexico. I'll be having soldier surgery there in November. Oh, wow, that's wonderful. What hospital do you go to? Aaron, you need a t-shirt that says Sketchy. No, do it. I've had so many moments of my life here in Mexico where I'm like, this is a bit sketchy. But you just don't know. One time, you guys, I go to a really great dentist here in Ocotlan, and it's like a beautiful, I hate going to the dentist, but it's a beautiful office. Well, when I first came to Mexico, I don't know if you know this or not, Abby was a baby, and my husband didn't have his residency or anything. He was stuck here in Mexico. And so I was here with him, and Abby was just little, and I went with his mom and dad. I don't remember if Lalo was with me or not. And she was getting fitted. My mother-in-law was getting fitted for like teeth in the back or something. We went into this lady's house that was falling. Do you remember that?
I remember you telling me about it. I wasn't there for it, but
the house was like falling apart, okay? And she had all these knitted things everywhere that she sold, and I was confused, and I'm like, how is this the dentist? And then there was a back room with a door, and I said, is there a bathroom? And she's like, yeah, it's this way. It was so bad. I can't even explain to you guys how bad it was. And then I come out of the bathroom and I look, and there's this back room, and there's like a chair, like a dentist chair, but a really old one. And this lady who could not have been a dentist, there's no possible way. I think she somehow figured out this skill in some way, but she was the lady knitting in front, and she came back and she put the mold into my mother-in-law's mouth. And then I remember there was like water dripping from the ceiling into a bucket, and I'm like, what is happening right now? And she got her up, and she's like, all right, come back in a week and get your teeth to put in. And she went back in a week and got them. There's no way. I can't even explain to you what that place looked like.
I mean, we've come a long way from...
No, I think your mom still goes there. I'm not even joking.
I know, but we don't go there. I'll tell you
we
that
don't
much
go
right
there. But I'm saying, my mother-in-law, that doesn't bother her. And you know what? She wouldn't get sick from it. Like... she just is so go with the flow that it wouldn't bother her.
I mean, if I really think back, like when we first got here, I remember there wasn't any internet at the ranch. Like, not just at our house, nowhere around us.
There was no cable. We didn't have cell phones.
Yeah, we didn't have cell phones.
I read so many books. I'd have a little, like, blow-up mini pool outside for Abby, and I would put, like, a shade thing over it, and I would just read books all day or go for hikes.
Yeah.
Aaron, you remind me so very much of Lindsay Lohan, the actress. I love you so very much and love your family. From Chino. Oh, thank you so much. You guys, I even have my little kids. We were going to go on the bus to Guadalajara, but my husband was a little bit nervous about not fully understanding the bus system, and our Uber wouldn't work.
Not that. It just, I know the traffic in Guadalajara, but I didn't want to miss our appointment. We had already canceled one, so we had an appointment at 11. And I was like, well, what if something happens and we end up missing this? And then, we just went all that way for no reason. And then all that stuff happened with the car. We came back. I scheduled another appointment for 1:30, and I was like, "There's no way I'm missing this." You know what I mean? So we had to leave like right then.
Yeah, it was so rough, you guys. But when I told Abby we were gonna take the bus, she because her class has to take the bus sometimes for field trips. And if you know the bus system in Mexico, you know that there's some buses that are so nice, and then there's some buses that are like metal seats.
Yeah, but you're talking about city buses. Like,
Right.
we weren't gonna take a city bus. They have these luxury buses that go from Ocotlan to Guadalajara. It's really like a plane, like a Greyhound almost.
Right.
But nicer.
But my daughter Abby didn't think we were taking that. You guys, when I went, I don't know how I survived this. I went on a field trip last year with my daughter Abigail's class. And my daughter is in the 9th grade, okay? They were so naughty. They're Rancho kids, okay? Rancho kids are built different. So we go, and her class is small, and we go to this college to look at it in Ocotlan. And they did like an assembly where all the kids had to sit down and listen to speakers. And it was actually really interesting. It was about gardening and stuff. These kids were so naughty. I was like, and I didn't know if I was gonna survive through the whole entire meeting, okay? So I didn't blame them. So we finally get out of there and we get back on the bus that's supposed to take us back to the ranch. I'm so ready to go home. My feet hurt so bad. The kids are being crazy. Abby's class is wild. And I'm like, Abby, I don't know how you survive every day. And we get on the bus and we start going. Now the bus has like, I don't know if it doesn't have shocks or something, but you're always like hitting really hard. I had a headache, my back, everything hurt. And we stop in the middle of Ocotlan, and the director was with us, the principal, and he's like, I'm gonna buy everybody ice cream. And I'm like, you're gonna bring these naughty little kids out of this bus after we barely survived the assembly. I was supposed to be one of the responsible parents, like the chaperones. That's what I was supposed to be. And I was like, I'm not saying anything to these kids because I'm too nervous, okay? So I'm like, there's no way. I was like, Abby, I'm not getting off the bus. He forces everybody off the bus. We go into the ice cream place, and I see the bus leave. And I'm like, at what point am I getting back home? Why would the bus leave? So then I ask Abby, I'm like, Abby, why did the school bus leave? And she's like, oh, they have to go pick up other people in the city and drop them off like on their route, and then they'll come back to get us. And I was like, we're not gonna survive out here with all these kids. They're gonna go wander the city. I'm not gonna be able to keep control of this situation. So finally, and I'm like done, okay? We get back on the bus. This is like an hour later. Now you guys know Ocotlan is so far from our ranch. There's so many bumps. We're on the bus, we're hitting it. All of Abby's friends are being so loud in the back. And I'm kind of in the front. And I told her teacher, I was like, I don't know how you do this. And he's like, oh, I've been doing it for like 20 years. I was like, I don't know how. I could not do this every day. So we're at the entrance of the ranch. We're probably still a good, like almost a good over a half mile from where we're gonna be dropped off at the plaza. But there was construction, okay, at the beginning of the ranch. And we're sitting there, I said, Abby, I can't do it.
Cemetery?
Yeah. I said, Abby, I can't do it. I'm getting off this bus. And she goes, you can't get off the bus. Just wait till we get to the plaza. I said, I can't. I could tell they were laying out those little tiny black pebbles.
Yeah, the asphalt.
The asphalt. I could tell it was going to be another half hour. And I was like, absolutely not. I can't do it. And I told the teacher and the director, I was like, I'm going to get off right here. And they're like, what? Are you sure? I said, 100,000,000% absolutely. And Abby's like, Mom. And I was like, you can wait on the bus if you want. Well, she got off with me, and we're walking, and I'm walking fast. I'm like, should we cut through the creek and take the shortcut? Well, then the bus starts moving a little bit, and I was like, we have to run. I was like, because now it's too embarrassing that I got off early. The bus can't beat us to the plaza. So like, we ran all the way back home. It was one of the longest days of my life. It was worse than airplane travel. And my husband told me, he's like, do not volunteer to go on the school field trips.
I told you.
He told me. So yeah, I had to learn my lesson the hard way, you guys. And I'm telling you, the Rancho kids, they're built different. They just are, aren't they? You guys would have thought the field, and like, I'm not the type of super strict parent. So if you're like a strict rule keeper, you would not have survived for real. Because I was trying not to laugh at these kids because they were being so funny. But I was like, but we're in a serious situation right now. Like, you're trying to explore the college.
Wait, somebody asked if we have trash pickup, and yeah, we do. We have trash pickup. They're supposed to come every Wednesday, I think. Sometimes they don't, but like last month, I think we went all month without them picking up the trash. But yeah, we do have trash pickup.
We have trash pickup, and you can tip them, and I always tip them very well because their job is not easy. They don't have like the claw that picks it up and puts it back. They have to pick up all your garbage by hand, and then they throw it up to someone, and that person throws it in. So I always leave them a nice tip, and then I always know they're gonna come back and help me with the trash. That's a really important thing, you guys, when you go to Mexico, is to leave tips. People, it just makes their whole entire day. How far is Ocotlan from your rancho? Probably close to 35 minutes. Love seeing you and your family. Thank you so much. La gringa es loca. Loca.
I feel like you've had a lot of experiences with buses for some reason.
You guys don't even know. You guys don't even know the worst bus experience. That's when I went from Guadalajara all the way to Muskegon, Michigan on a bus. I did not have a cell phone. I had Abby, and I had Monozuko's Revenge.
What?
Monozuko's Revenge.
What the hell is that?
Monozuko, the Mayan king. Montezuma's Revenge.
What?
I don't know if you guys ever heard of that, but
what are you talking about? Greece?
What's it called? Montezuma?
No.
What's it called? What's it called? Montezunu.
Moctezuma.
Moctezuma.
Mm-hmm.
I had Moctezuma Revenge. And the reason I know that is because when I got back to the States, I went to the doctors and I said, listen, I have this stomach bug. It's been a week. And he's like, were you just in Mexico? And I would, Montezuma. Montezuma. And my doctor goes, yeah, you have Montezuma's Revenge. And I was like, what is that? And he's like, that's because...
Somebody said Montezuma's Revenge is right at Knott's Berry Farm.
Is it? They said that because the white people came to, like the white people from Europe came and took over like the Mayans and stuff, and that he set a curse on them. So that's why when like the gringos or gringas go to like Cancun or Puerto Vallarta and stuff, they always get really stomach sick. Now he's a Christian man, okay? My family doctor, I love him so much. He's known me since I was so little. So when he said that, it's always stuck in my head. And I'm like, man, how many people do I know that went to Mexico and got stomach sick? Do you know what I mean?
Did you even know anybody that came to Mexico then?
No, but I mean, now I do.
Yeah, but like what were you thinking? Like, I remember asking Aaron, like, the first time you came to Mexico, because you had to travel by yourself. Okay, Abigail was like, I don't know, months old. And then, like, what did you expect getting here?
I had no idea. I had no expectations whatsoever.
Like,
survival.
You had to figure something out, because there was no way to call you, so I could wait at the airport, but I didn't have a cell phone to call her.
No.
So like, what were you thinking?
You know what I did? I prayed when I got to the airport that someone would be there, and I still pray for this woman to this day. I said I prayed that someone would be there to help me while I was in the airport, and this older lady sat next to me, and Abby was a baby in a carrier, so she was still really little, And she just talked to me the whole time, and I felt so much better. And she sat next to me, and she said she was going back to Mexico because her father was getting ready to pass away. And looking back now, I always wonder what happened because she had to take care of his home and everything. Then the next time I went, every time I went, because my husband couldn't come back to the States.
No, wait, but I want you to talk about the first time you came. Because I don't know, like, I can tell you what I felt going across the border.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because, like, I knew once I crossed that border, you know what I mean?
It was 50-50 if you were coming back or not.
Yeah. You know what I mean? We were, I just knew I couldn't come back. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I remember me and my mom and my dad drove from Michigan all the way to Mexico. And I remember having, like, you know what I mean, like that nervous feeling to cross the border.
You?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were nervous. You've never told me that.
Well,
you
I mean,
were nervous.
Yeah, because it's just something different. I was born in Mexico, but I never lived here before that. You know what I mean?
What did the border look like?
Like a bridge.
And that was it. They didn't ask for anything.
No, I don't even remember them asking me for anything when we crossed the border. I think my dad had to get a permit for the truck, and that was it.
And then you just went right through.
Yeah, it took us like 12 hours to get from Juarez to the ranch.
And at the time, for you guys that don't know, my husband, when my oldest daughter Abigail was a baby, my husband had to self-deport. And you would think like, oh well, that's an option. It wasn't an option at all because they had his appointment for residency in Juarez, Mexico, and that was the only way he was going to be able.
A lot of people have commented on this, okay? And I don't know, every case is different, okay? But as
Yeah.
far as I know, at the time, if I didn't have a change of status, if I didn't enter the country with a legitimate visa or a legal way, say I overstayed a visa, that would have made me qualified to stay in the United States and not have to leave the United States. But because I entered illegally at the time,
as a child, like 3 years old.
yeah, and if I entered illegally, you know, my appointment had to be in Juarez. There was no way around it.
And I will tell you guys, my husband has no criminal record whatsoever.
Yeah, I didn't have any criminal record or anything.
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
The only thing he had on his record was that he came into the United States illegally as a 3-year-old.
I was 4.
4-year-old. And so when they said your appointments in Juarez, Mexico, which I had 2 other friends who had appointments in Juarez, Mexico the years following, even our lawyer was like, there's going to be no problems because you don't have a criminal record, you have a baby, you're married, and they denied him, and they're like, you're going to have to wait another year.
But that was surprising in itself. Okay?
Yeah, we were shocked.
Well, our lawyer was shocked because, you know, he thought, well, you know, there's nothing that can go wrong right now.
No.
He told me, he goes, I think you're going to be there for 3 weeks. You know, this is the steps that's going to happen, and then you'll be back here.
Oh, and someone on here said, Anna Espinoza, 7459, exactly, Lalo. They were new rules every year. I know friends that had done the same, but now they are U.S. citizens. And you guys, back then, I remember just being in shock. Like, I thought we were about to start life. It ended up being our biggest blessing. But a lot of people are forced to be in Mexico because they got deported or they just can't come back. But when my husband self-deported and there was no way of him coming back, that was the time we fell in love with Mexico. And if that wouldn't have happened, I don't know if we would have eventually, maybe for vacation, but it wouldn't have been the same thing.
Yeah.
And so it's like one of those things where God knows, even though you're going through like rough waters and you're going through crushing, God sees ahead. And I can 100% know for sure, like, that was the blessing in it, that we got to be here as a family.
I mean, even then, like, you know, I ended up getting my residency after a year and 4 months and stuff. And we ended up going back to the States, and we lived in the States for like 10 years.
Because my husband still had to get his citizenship, and you have to wait, I think, 4 years, right? After residency?
5.
4 or
I had him in
5.
5. But then, we ended up going back to Michigan, lived there for 10 years. And that whole time I felt like, there was always that, what if we could live there?
Like this longing of we were such a family there, and the calm and the family around us, and the food. It was something so special. But we also thought there is no way we can give all this up. Nobody gives up the American dream and then just starts over, because we already had our home. We had our cars, our kids were in school, and we had to take this huge leap, sell our home, sell all of our cars, and just go for it. And people thought we were absolutely crazy. Like, you just spent all this time getting his residency and citizenship, and now you're going back. And there was a point when my husband had to leave for a year to get his welding degree certificate, and I was here alone in Mexico with my 4 kids. And I remember my husband calling me, and he's like, I don't know if we're gonna be able to make it in Mexico. And I was like, Lord, I know you want me here. I felt it. I have pushed for it. Please show everybody who said we can't do it, show them that you wanted us here. And he did. And me and my kids, we prayed for a whole entire week in December, because my YouTube was a huge part of us being able to stay here. I started my YouTube like 8 years ago. But at this point, I knew it could be a blessing, and we could help other people coming into Mexico or going through the same things. And we prayed, and within that month, 1,000 people subscribed, then 2,000, and now we're at 78,000. And one day we'll hit 100, you guys. And it was gonna be everybody who said there's no way you can do it, that it's just not gonna happen. And that's like God's testimony to it can, and we were faithful through it, even when it was so hard. Like, he renewed all the years we lost trying to get through it.
That's what it feels like sometimes. Well, maybe you should get to some of these questions.
Yeah, you read them to me and I'll answer.
Somebody asked if my dad was a citizen. So my dad became a resident before coming to Mexico. He was a resident for, I don't know, we went to Michigan in 2004. My dad passed away in 2016. I think he became a resident in like 2007. So, I don't know, 7, 8 years.
And go ahead.
But my dad also lived in California for, I don't know, since 78, I think. Since 1978 to 2004, we lived in California.
So you would think my husband would be used to driving in Guadalajara, since you grew up by all
But it's not the driving, because it's not like you're going fast. You know what I mean? I think the whole time that we were in Guadalajara, we were doing like 15 miles an hour the whole time.
Right.
Because there's so much traffic. It's like, it's the stuff that you're not used to. You know what I mean? The people passing you on the shoulder type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Everybody honking for no reason.
Right.
It's just chaotic.
And there's also something I wanted to mention while I was thinking about it. When my husband was doing his residency process, his mom and dad had residency in the United States. Mm-hmm. They were both legal residents. That's why his dad could drive him through the border and come back. So even though his mom and dad had residency, and even though his mom and dad are the ones that made the decision for him as a child to come into the United States, that was still something that came down on my husband, that he came in illegally. And I remember, like, at that time, I was like, this is all so crazy, like the way this is all thought through and how they do the process. And I know it's a lot different now, but I remember thinking about that. But it turned out to be, maybe that had to have been just God's will. Like, it doesn't matter who has what. You guys are going to be here for a year, so you can see.
Yeah.
Buenos noches, family. I recently started watching your videos. So happy I've come across your channel. I don't know you guys, but I feel a part. I feel like you're a part of my family. Thank you so much. You're part of our YouTube family. Okay, and we're going to try to get to some of your guys' questions. Somebody asked about the crane to get our beams up, and I have been extremely emotional this week because I feel like there's been a standstill on our home, and I'm ready to really make progress on our home and be in our home. I feel it feels like a weight on me, and so it's hard to move forward until we can get these beams up. And I'll let my husband explain how we're moving forward with that.
So the plan right now is we have some walls to build up in the bathrooms, just some separating walls, just to kind of keep busy. So I have to order um, 13 more beams, and then we planned on, once the beams got here, we planned on removing the part of the carport that's over the door. I'm gonna remove that whole thing, have the crane guy come, cause the crane guy came in here and looked around and stuff. He said he could definitely get in there if the carport wasn't in the way. So that won't be an issue. He said he could lift them all the way up, get in here, then we have to remove the carport. So he said it'd probably take him 3 or 4 hours to get all of them up there, and I'm probably gonna end up welding while he's moving all those beams, because I have a beam that sits right on top of the balcony, and I can't have that moving around while he's moving more beams. And then beams sit on top of that beam, so those beams have to get welded right then as well. So
Yeah, it's a lot.
so yeah, I mean, once we have all the beams here and I could take care of the carport, I'll remove that, have the crane guy come in, lift them all up, and then put the carport back. That's the plan so far.
So we'll get there. It's just a lot. Everything so far has gone pretty smooth, but this has been like a waiting game for us, which is kind of also odd because it came at the same time we needed to go get help for Abby's knee. So maybe it's a reminder for a slow down and that's just what we need. Someone said, "Is that doll in a timeout?" My mother-in-law put that doll up there because it was Abby's quinceañera doll, and it was the ugliest doll in the whole entire store. Even Abby did not want it. And I was like, I'm gonna take one of the little girls' dolls because they have one of those My Generation dolls, and one of them looked like Abby. I was like, we're gonna take this one, and I'll put like flowers in its hair, and we'll put that girl's dress on it. This girl right here, and no, my mother-in-law wouldn't let me do it, so she loves it, and it just stays up there.
They keep asking if that's our photo up there.
No, that's my husband's brother and his wife. That's actually in Guadalajara.
Yeah, it's at man, I forgot the name of it now. Oh, Casa Pedro Losa. It's at the rooftop.
Yes. All right, we're gonna get to a couple more questions. And if you guys have not already, please like and subscribe. You guys can leave me comments. One day I'm gonna get to 100,000 and we are gonna have a big celebration, you guys. I know I'm gonna get there one day. I know we will. And all I asked God for, I only prayed for 1,000. I said, Lord, please get me to 1,000. And he's got me to 78,000. So I know we'll get there. And I also want it to be a place that people can go to and be like, I have to go to Mexico with my family, and they know what to expect, because me coming here and not knowing what to expect was the hardest part. And I used to have to reach out to missionaries out in Guadalajara because my kids would get sick or something would happen, and I'm not used to the culture, and they would tell me what to do and what to look for. So I hope my channel can spread some light on families that are coming here or are scared about it. But also spread light on Mexico because it is so beautiful here, you guys. We love Mexico.
I mean, and it's hard for me to explain this, okay? Because I remember asking my dad when I was a kid, you know what I mean, like, what was Mexico like? Because if you guys have been following long enough, you guys know that my parents didn't talk about Mexico at all, when we were growing up.
Which is wild because you have such a rich family history here.
Yeah, but they didn't talk about Mexico at all, okay? So I remember asking my dad, you know, like, what Mexico was like and stuff like that, and he just said there's no, like, work, there's no, like, future there, okay? But then when my dad was able to come back, this was, so my dad spent what, probably 20 something years in California. So when my dad was able to come back, you know, his whole view of Mexico changed. He's like, it's not the Mexico that I grew up in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There was so many more opportunities for him. I remember my dad saying that he made more money that year, that particular year that he was able to come here, um, than he ever did in the States any year. You know what I mean? But that was because things were changing in Mexico. He compared it to like California in like mid '80s and '90s. You know what I mean? Where the economy was good and everybody was making money. That's what my dad compared it to at the time. You know what I mean? And I mean even now there's so many opportunities opening up in Mexico.
And it's kind of like I'm not sure if maybe my husband's dad knew. I'm not sure how much they knew because like how much do I know because I can't speak Spanish here, but I mean I can, but not as much as my children. And my husband growing up, they grew up in a really rough neighborhood, and even though he has wonderful memories with his friends, he grew up in a 1-bedroom apartment and they had 4 children and mom and dad, and he wasn't even living the way I was living, you know, and he had to start working at a very young age, and it wasn't like the Rancho. So I'm always curious if your dad knew that. I've always wondered, did he ever battle between, I wish they could have grown up more simple on the ranch compared to all the chaos in LA.
The thing is, it's like what I just said. You know what I mean? My dad grew up in a different Mexico. It's not the Mexico
Right.
that you're living right now.
No, but I know, but he could see the two, and I wonder if he ever thought,
But 25 years had to pass for him to see the two.
right, but I wonder when he left, was he thinking we're leaving for survival purposes, we just don't have the income, or we're leaving because I feel like this will provide them a better life?
I think at the time it was both of those things. And at the time it was, you know, lack of funds, lack of resources, and you know, it's like everybody else. They want to try their luck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe it will work out.
Yeah, exactly. And then I just want to read this comment real quick, you guys. Lolita Garcia said, "You always talk about praying for anybody that needs it. Can you please pray for my MRI? Showed an infection in my spinal cord, the very bottom one, my lower number disc 5. Yes, we will be praying for you, and anybody else who could please pray for her, because that's scary going in for MRIs and testing and all those other things, and you're not alone in that. You'll have some people praying for you now." Lalo, how do you handle the heat while you build? What is the high temp this time of year? I don't know how
I
he
have
does
no
it.
idea. I mean, it's probably, I don't know, in the 80s or 90s.
I don't know how he does it.
You get used to it, to tell you the truth. When I first got back from Michigan, I remember, because it was wintertime here, and Aaron was in sweaters and stuff, and I was outside in a tank top. It was like super hot to me, okay? But now it's like, you know, it's 90 degrees, I don't have a sweater on, and I don't feel that heat. And
No.
a lot of you guys ask why I wear a sweater. First of all, I don't like wearing, what's that called? Like sunblock. And I'm outside all the time.
Nobody here wears t-shirts unless the sun is down. So if you are planning to like visit your family in the pueblo or in the rancho, you better come with a long sleeve, because otherwise you're gonna stick out like a sore thumb. Like my sister and mom came when it was actually cold here, and they had on shorts and a tank top, and I was just like, you guys are gonna stick out like a sore thumb.
And they did. I mean,
And they
that's
did.
You know what I mean? You can tell when somebody's not from here because they're wearing shorts and like a short sleeve shirt.
Yes. Or sometimes people come here from the States and they're visiting with their family. They might be teenagers and they're really trying to show off their outfits. They might have on all Nike, all the newest things. And it's funny because like my kids do not see that. They do not see like name brands whatsoever. And I'm so happy that I was able to raise them that way. They've never, if they want a pair of tennis shoes, they just want something that looks nice. They're not like, it has to be the new Nikes that came out. I don't even know if they know that like Nikes and stuff do like new shoes
They
every
never
year.
asked us for any like name brand things.
So when kids come here for a summer break with their family, I wonder what they're thinking. You know, I'm sure some kids look at them and think, I wish I could wear those things. But for the most part, I feel like there's so much unmaterialistic things that bring us joy here that our kids don't really look too much into that.
Pedro Alvarez, I'm assuming you're talking about our white truck. No, I haven't got it fixed yet. We're trying to look for some control arm pieces for the rear end of that Expedition, and I can't find them. So I'm gonna have to order them from somewhere.
The cars drive me crazy, you guys. Nuts. Because when you get stuck somewhere out in Mexico, that's it for you. You're waiting for your family friend to come pick you up.
Somebody asked if my brothers were all U.S. citizens. Yeah, they are U.S. citizens. My oldest brother actually was born in California, and then after that, me and my youngest brother were born in Mexico because my dad came back to take care of his parents.
Yes.
And then we went back, and my youngest sister was born also in California.
When they came back, when they were crossing the border, my mother-in-law was pregnant with his youngest sister. I think about 5 months, she said.
Probably.
But she goes with the flow, so I'm sure it was not that bad of a trip for her.
What's that?
When she had to cross the border.
Man, I still remember parts of that. I still remember, like very vividly. Like, I remember somebody was carrying me on their shoulders, and I remember hiding on like underneath like this small tree, and I remember seeing like the light from the helicopter coming down like that, and I just remember my dad telling me to like stay down, and I just like things like that, and it's weird because I don't remember like kindergarten, or like because I went to preschool in California, and I don't remember any of those things, but I remember that.
No, my husband said he remembers, oh, Jake from Skate Farm.
That's Jake.
Wait, where is that comment at? Just got off work. Oh, hi, Jake. You guys, I don't know if you watched my vlog where my cousin Josh came from Massachusetts, and that's his brother Jake, and they're my cousins. He's on right now, and I don't know if my cousin Josh is on right now, but I grew up with them in Michigan, and I was talking to my cousin Josh about orcas like in the ocean by Massachusetts.
Please don't start with orcas.
I'm not gonna start, but I want to say one thing that I was thinking today about it. I was thinking today that, you know, everybody says like orcas are so like calm and nice, and then there's like this new law that you can freely swim with orcas, but orcas have people, okay? But they were always in like a zoo environment type thing. But that's because these people had probably swimmed with these probably thousands and thousands and thousands of times. But it was that one random moment where the orca's like, I've just had enough, done, right? So now if people start freely swimming with them, they're gonna think nothing will ever happen, and thousands of times are gonna pass, and then bam. So I'm just saying, I don't trust them. They're too smart to be roaming the ocean. Like, we were just watching Castaway, was it called?
Mm-hmm.
I was watching the kids, this is the first time they've seen it, and he was like, you know, he got dropped in the ocean. I was like, I don't even know. I'd want somebody to knock me out. Okay, but we won't talk about orcas anymore, because I'm just saying.
I can't do it. I can't. Please don't. I can't.
Okay, I'm just going to say one more thing. It's not about orcas. But on the way to Guadalajara, me and Abby love listening to audibles, especially when we're cleaning through the house and stuff. And we were listening to one of the Twilight series. I think it was Breaking Dawn, like her wedding.
Please don't.
And my husband, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to turn it up. You know, we have a long drive. And my husband could not. He's like, I would rather be listening to Nails on Chalkboard. And I'm like, it's not to the good part yet. It's going to be more dramatic. I don't know how my husband can't love Twilight, like
Aaron,
listening to it.
I have never, like, clenched my jaw so much during a whole day than that day. Okay.
Oh my gosh. All right, guys, let's get back to some of your questions. Hello from Tucson, Arizona. Been watching you for about a year now, and I've watched all your videos. I love your videos. They're so relaxing to me. Thank you so much.
You know
Aaron,
what's funny? I grew up in California. I never went to the ocean. I went to their fish, but I never like got in the ocean.
it's actually, I don't know if it's fully my husband's dream, but I want to go to California and see like where he grew up and all the food places he loved going to. Because his family couldn't take him on vacations and things like that, but food places are a core memory for you, like a special
Yeah.
thing. And I would love to be able to go to California one day and take that trip with him and just look at his old home and things like that. Maybe one day, you guys. And I'd probably see a lot of you out in California. That would be so. Every once in a while, people recognize us, and it's like humbling. It's so nice to meet people and to sit there and talk to them. I met someone in Chapala when I was looking for school supplies, and she was the sweetest lady, and she had her little daughter with her. But then they want to take a picture with me, and sometimes I'm not photo ready. Is the only other problem, but I always take a picture with them. No, oh my gosh, okay.
Oh, wait. Somebody said your house is too quiet. Where are the kids? They're watching the best movie ever.
What are they
Castaway.
watching? Yeah, they're watching Castaway right now. They're finishing it up right now. Cristiano had so many questions. Like, they haven't made a peep.
somebody said Delano get Montezuma's revenge last week and Annabelle healed him? Question mark.
You guys, Annabelle is a nervous wreck because the stomach flu is going around our ranch, and she was full blown, like had Penelope and her face taped down. She hasn't gotten sick, and I haven't either, but the next day it was Cristiano, and the next day it was Abby. But I don't eat after 5. And they be eating after 5. I think that's why all of them got sick. One
Shoot,
after
Cristiano
another.
got sick, threw up, and then wanted to eat pizza.
Yeah. No, it was wild. You guys, my mom just mentioned on here, that somebody when I went to Michigan on vacation, I went into Aldi's and I was checking out, and somebody in Aldi's recognized me and Abby. Now, when you meet Abby in person, she's so shy, okay? She's like, hi, how you doing? Hola. Or I think Cristiano was with me too. And they were from Texas, and the husband was one that watched me, and he was the sweetest man. He was so excited to meet me, and he was speaking to us in Spanish, so Cristiano was kind of helping translate and stuff, but he was the sweetest man, and we took a photo together. But it was crazy to go to my hometown, and somebody all the way from Texas knew of our channel, and it brought them joy, you know, because they can't always go back to their home country, and that brings me joy. I'm from San Pedro. Okay, next one. I'm from San Pedro, California. It'd be great to see you guys in Wilmington. You guys, that would be the vlog of a lifetime.
I grew up on Sepulveda, right before Carson. Right where the railroad tracks. I think the railroad tracks were split up Wilmington and Carson. I grew up right on Sepulveda.
Do you think your house is still there?
It wasn't a house. It was like a
Complex.
No, it wasn't a complex either. It was just like 3 apartments.
My mom said, okay, hi, Josh and Jake. Both of my cousins, Josh and Jake, are on here. I think I'm really trying to convince my cousins to come here and help out with the house and stuff, because I just feel like they would love it. I feel like they would love the atmosphere here and the people and the food. My cousin Josh me and him were around the same age, and we grew up together, and we loved hot sauce at a young age. So we would go to Taco Bell if our parents would bring us, and we'd want like the hottest sauce, and we'd want as much as we could get. So that started at a really young age. I know Taco Bell isn't really Mexican food, you guys, but that's all I had at the time. You don't want to visit Wilmington. I live a few miles away. Well, we have 2 friends of ours that could kind of, we would probably go stay with and could kind of bring us around.
But Caesar doesn't live there no more.
Yeah, but Caesar and Marty could still bring us around. I don't know if you guys remember the vlog with Caesar and Marty, my husband's childhood friends that came here to visit. He got Montezuma revenge.
Please stop saying that.
Well, how do you say it?
Montezuma.
Montezuma's revenge. Okay, next question. You had to come to East Tennessee. I've been to Tennessee before, to Gatlinburg. It was so beautiful. I grew up between Wilmington and Long Beach.
Wait, what? Albertsons and Foster's Freeze don't exist anymore?
Oh, what is that?
Like, Foster Freeze was an ice cream place, and then Albertsons was like kind of like a Walgreens.
We vacationed in Pigeon Forge and loved it. Yes, except I had a traumatic experience going in the when we went to Tennessee into the. Do you know what that's called, hon? Where you jump in and the air's hitting you. It's like a simulation
It's
of something.
yeah, skydive simulator.
Yeah, that was horrid. I could not do it. There's a certain way you have to position your body. I did not have the muscle strength for it. Congratulations on your videos. You're nice. I don't know that word. Family, thank you. Thanks to you, I have been improving my English. I can practice. Oh, that is so cool. You guys actually give me Spanish comments on here, and it does help me. I always think about it. Foster Freeze is in Bell Gardens.
Man, Bell
What?
Gardens.
Someone said, what antiparasitics do you take? We recently had to take our 6-month dose. You take it every 6 months.
Was it Loxel?
Loxil is what we take, and all of us just take it at the same time. We don't always do it every 6 months, though. When we first got here, we had to do that. Now we don't have to do it as much. What?
Somebody brought up In-N-Out. And yeah, I have had In-N-Out. And that's probably the thing I miss the most about California is In-N-Out and Busy Bee sandwiches.
And that teriyaki place.
Yeah, Yoshinoya was good, but it wasn't as good. You know what I'm saying? Like In-N-Out and Busy Bee was probably that was like it. That was like the what do you call it? Like the peak.
Well, that's where we're gonna have to go. I'm gonna go eat at all the places if we ever go there. Some Alex AG 818 said going out to Guanajuato next week. Have you guys been to there? Okay, there's a family there, and their YouTube's called, I think it's called Our Life in Guanajuato, and her name is Lacey. I love watching their YouTube channel, and they live out there. I would love for one day to do a vlog with her. Like, if me and her ever set that up, then I would go out there for a couple days. And also, they have a very historical center that I'd be enchanted to go out there and tour that.
The last time I had In-N-Out was when we went to go see your Aunt Kim.
Yeah, that was so good. We had these tacos with beans in them.
No, that was Jack in the Box.
Oh my gosh. It was so wonderful.
That was, how many years is that?
That was a while ago.
Probably 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, that was a while ago, hon.
Oh man, if somebody can fly me some In-N-Out, please do.
I don't think they can do that. They're gonna stop you at customs. My mother-in-law just got back. And you know when you go into the airport, I don't know if it's just Guadalajara, but there's a stand and you have to push the button. And the button when you push the button, a red or a green light comes on. If the green light comes on, you just walk through to your family. If the red light comes on, the custom agents look through your bag.
Hold on. Somebody said Culver's is way better than In-N-Out, and you're wrong. There's absolutely no way.
We haven't liked Culver's the last couple of times we've went
Culver's
there.
is good, but it's not In-N-Out good.
No, it's not In-N-Out good. They don't give you hot sauce either. That's the bad part. I don't mean disrespect, but I got a feeling Hilda, Lalo's mom, is like my dad, stubborn and give that tough love. My dad is from Zacatecas. Is that how you say it, hon?
What's that?
Mexico.
Zacatecas.
Zacatecas, much love and respect. She is very strong-willed. She loves us, but she is very, very strong-willed and set in her ways. And I think sometimes that can be a little frustrating for anybody, but I also think that's just a little bit part of her culture too. A lot of the women are like that. They're very strong-willed.
There's no way Five Guys is better than In-N-Out.
No,
Absolutely
there's no way. No way.
No way.
Tommy Hamburgers is way better than In-N-Out.
Dude, there used to be a Tommy's, what's it called? Chili cheese fries.
Have you been to Tommy's Burgers?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's the same. There used to be a Tommy's Burgers in Wilmington. I don't know if it's still there or not.
Oh my gosh, Lucy said Jack in the Box is a block from her house. I have street tacos, but that would still be cool. In-N-Out, best, period. A double with grilled
Grilled onions
from In-N-Out. Where is there Culver's? Any in California? Tommy's on Rampart. We don't have In-N-Out in Amarillo, Texas. In-N-Out is the best. Farmer's Boy is better than In-N-Out. Have you been to Farmer's Boy?
No.
Man, I'm trying to think of a restaurant that I'd like more than In-N-Out, like in the States. What was the restaurant we drove really far? Was that In-N-Out or Jack in the Box?
Jack in the Box. We drove 6 hours from Muskegon, Michigan to
like Illinois or something.
No, it was Indianapolis to get Jack in the Box.
I vote Jack in the Box is the best, like in my opinion. Like their tacos with a ton of hot sauce. You can't beat that. Keep up the vlogs. I love seeing the culture of Mexico, and your home is going to be beautiful. Can't wait to see how you will be decorating the inside. Muskegon, Michigan here. Also, much love. Oh, thank you, Subug2451. I live in Sauk Prairie, Wisconsin, where Culver's first restaurant was made, or where Culver's first restaurant was, and is way better than In-N-Out. Maybe outside of Wisconsin is less quality. I bet that's what it is, because Culver's used to be, it felt like homemade food to me. In the last 2 years, it has not. It's felt more like McDonald's.
Hold on, if you guys go to car shows in California, what about Rallies or Checkers?
Checkers is good. In-N-Out, Tommy's in Whittier. We have Tommy's here in Lubbock, Texas, in Bell Gardens, California. Chick-fil-A. Oh man, I haven't heard of a Chick-fil-A in a really long time. Have you ever thought about visiting the Ozarks, north central Arkansas? We're surrounded by lakes and 2 rivers. Trout capital USA. Oh, that is so cool. I prefer In-N-Out. Lalo, Five Guys is better
Rallies
than
doesn't
In-N-Out.
exist anymore?
See, I think my husband needs to go back to California and just get some nostalgia and just feel good out there. In-N-Out is the best. The quality of the food is better than any other food restaurant. I don't know, guys. I like Jack in the Box.
Oh man, somebody said Busy Bees is still there.
Dang.
Now, if I were to go back to California, that would be probably the only reason to go back to California.
Hun, if I ever take you back to California, we have to go on like a food tour.
No, I just want to go to Busy Bee. That's
Well, we have to go on the rest of the food tour with me.
No, we'll go to Busy Bee and then you can get every sub they have, like every
Right, but
day.
we have to explore other food places.
I just don't want to.
Oh my god.
In-N-Out and Busy Bee. That's it.
Okay, let's see. It says Jack in the Box is bottom barrel for us here. Listen, you guys, all those restaurants are good, but no one's gonna beat Imelda's Tacos or Fernin. I know they're not world renowned, but I would go get those tacos over any other restaurant.
I don't know, man. You haven't tasted Busy Bee.
Well, what?
Anybody from San Pedro can tell Aaron what Busy Bee is and how good it is.
Well, what do you get at Busy Bee?
They sell like subs.
Jack in the Box uses frozen burgers. I didn't know that. Jack in the Box is not the same anymore. Yeah, that's weird. There's a lot of restaurants in the States that are just not the same right now. Aaron, are you mispronouncing so many... Aaron, you're mispronouncing so many words. Mom, you're mispronouncing words because you just put works instead of words. Yes, sandwiches. Plenty of tacos here in LA. And you guys, there's something though about tacos in Mexico. It's like the meat is different. The tortillas are different. I bet it's kind of like the same as when.
I know, but I'm telling you, I haven't had Busy Bee since 2004. Okay? And I can literally think about it and still taste it.
Oh my gosh. The ultimate cheeseburger from Jack in the Box is good. Busy Bee barbecue chicken sandwich. Ohio has no good Mexican food. Oh, that stinks. You're going to have to make it from home. Families don't eat fast food. Love your videos. Come to visit. We'll take you to Cool Cat Best Fish and Chips. Oh, that would be so cool. Five Guys is nasty. Oh my gosh. Someone said, "Cause you never tried LA street tacos." You guys, that's a reason for me to go. Maybe in the next couple years, we'll head out there and I'll be able to tell you guys. What's been the biggest surprise so far about building your own home in Mexico? Something you didn't expect at all.
All of it.
All of it. Every last bit of it.
All of it. I mean, you have to understand, houses here aren't built like in the States. I know a lot of you guys ask me, why don't I get an engineer to come look at the house, or why didn't we get plans for the house? And I can guarantee you that there's probably, in our whole ranch, there's probably 2 people that had hired an engineer to make their house.
Yeah.
So it's extremely hard for me to find somebody. It's extremely hard for me to, give my input on something that I've never done before.
And now that you have to find someone who can come out to this ranch, which is further out. There's only one paved road, and that is not near our house. So they have to be able to get all their equipment here. And then out of those few select people who can help build your house, you have to be able to trust them. And they have to be willing to work with you, because I'm very creative and I designed our house. And a lot of the homes that are built are almost like a generic modern way, which a lot of people want. They want more of a modern home now, but I wanted the opposite of that. And I was really nervous that we weren't going to be able to find someone who was going to do what I was thinking in my head. So we're blessed we had the opportunity to do this, and such a skilled builder, Guillo and Pollo, that they're kind of, I show them what is good, like what I'm thinking, and then they walk us through it. What's wrong, honey?
She needs a remote for the...
Oh, she's gonna have to use this one. Annabelle's in the back looking for the remote. Busy Bees might not exist after the owner retires. His kids are getting higher education and won't keep the family business, according to the owner. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Maybe you need to invest in Busy Bee.
I don't know. I mean,
probably couldn't. It's probably millions of dollars, I bet, in
no,
that area.
Aaron, you don't even imagine. What do you think Busy Bee looks like? Like,
No,
what do
but
you
I'm
think
saying-
what do you think the restaurant looks like?
I think it's like a deli.
No,
Oh, what is it?
it's literally a liquor store.
Oh,
You go in there. They have like shelves, but all the shelves are stacked with like bell peppers and like the ingredients that they use.
okay.
And then in the way back, you go to like this random corner, and there's 3 guys making sandwiches.
Oh, yeah, but I'm saying for him to sell that piece of property is probably over $1 million.
Yes, the property is
Yeah.
well. It's probably like more like 10 million or something.
Oh my gosh. Hopefully one of you guys buys it then, and you know us, and we can just come out there and get some Busy
Aaron,
Bee.
I remember going to Busy Bee, like, cause me, my brother, and my dad, like all summer we'd have to work all summer with my dad,
Yeah.
and that was like, what we get paid with. So like, in San Pedro we mowed a few lawns there, and for lunch we would go get Busy Bee. I remember there was times that we went there where there was double line literally wrapped around the block.
That's insane.
Insane.
But what makes them so good?
It's how whatever they make it.
Do they have a special sauce? Is it like the Krusty Krab? Like that's what I imagine.
No.
Like they have a special sauce.
No, because all the
So
sandwiches
weird.
are different.
That's why Lalo thinks it's good. Too drunk to realize it was any good. No, I don't think
I
you
don't
ever.
even drink.
No, my husband does not drink. How long have you been living in Jalisco? Almost 6 years now. Lalo, my husband refuses to move to Mexico. I would love to move there. He says the same thing your dad used to say. ¿Pa qué me vienen entones?
I can't see, so I'm not sure.
I guess also you gotta understand we weren't gonna go unless we had savings, so that's why we sold our home
Well,
and our cars.
there's a few things. So like, we didn't have any debt first off. Aaron had already received what, 2 certificates or 3?
I don't know, hun. Okay, I went to school a lot and couldn't find my niche.
I understand, but you had already received. So like, we had like things that we could do. We didn't have any debt, and we had savings. So like anything that we had after that was just like material stuff. You know what I mean? Which we could replace, like according to us.
But that was one thing we didn't know. We thought we were gonna we should bring all of our things with us, and we shouldn't have done that. We didn't need to.
Yeah, I need my phone though.
Oh, go get it real quick. Go tell Annabelle. Lasts for hundreds of years, the best built in traditional way. Yes, I'm hoping it lasts a very long time. But yeah, if you are thinking about moving to Mexico, one thing that people thrive on here is their skills. So whatever you're skilled at, for me, for example, I've always done photography here, and that's a way for us to make a living. My husband knows how to farm here because he's always farming his mom's things.
That was another reason I wanted to go get my certificate. I already knew how to weld, but there's no way for me to show somebody that I could weld. You know what I mean? Unless they gave me an opportunity to go there and weld for them, I couldn't just be like, well, I'm a welder. You know what I mean? I did this for however many years. Because I never worked in Mexico. I don't even have your RFC. RFC is like something that you need to work here. And I didn't even have that. So I wouldn't have, anything to show what I knew how to do. You know what I mean? So I was like, well, if I go and get my certificate and things don't work out in Mexico, I still have my certificate for welding in Michigan.
Right. So we kind of set things up nicely, and I don't know what it was, you guys, but when my husband was going through the residency process, Alex, thank you so much. Oh, it won't let me heart it. Thank you so much. Okay, and sorry, hold on, you guys. Let me go back on here. Someone's also said on here, I thought all MRIs were the same. Exactly. Like, who would have thought? But when my husband was going through the residency process, back when my daughter was a baby, there was no reason to really have to do that back then, because it's not like it is right now where it's scary and people don't know what's next. He probably could have not gotten it, but there was something in me, and I swear that's where God leads me, where I knew the Spirit was telling me, you have to do this. So our family sacrificed a lot for years to pay for our lawyers, to pay for the lawyer we had, to pay for everything. For him to be in Mexico, I had to work, and I was so blessed. If you guys look back on a couple vlogs, I went to a Mexican restaurant in Michigan, and my best friend owns that restaurant. And she wasn't my best friend yet, but when I got a job there, we became best friends, and I was able to take 3 months off at a time while my husband was in Mexico and go down there with him. But we had to sacrifice a lot to get to where even we are right now. We never got to take family vacations. We were always, I feel like we were always struggling, and we couldn't take the easy way out. We really had to push through it. We didn't even know if there'd be a reward at the end,
I mean, sometimes I remember thinking back on things, and I don't even know how we got through some things, because it was just bad for a while.
It was bad, but God always got us through it. There was like meeting my best friend at the restaurant, and then she would give me months off to go see my husband. Her family actually ended up being near the ranch that we're on, so everything just always worked out, but there was always a struggle in it. But God got us through the struggle part of it. Even now, struggling with Abby's stuff or things like that, I always have to think back, when has he never got me through it?
I mean, we were sorry. We were just talking about, how we're gonna start over once we finish our house.
Yeah, we have nothing you got. Like, I was thinking the other day, and then someone mentioned this on our vlogs. They're like, you're not even gonna need boxes. And I was like, the only thing we have to bring into that house is each other and some clothes. We have literally
And
nothing else.
and some black dogs.
Yeah, and her dogs. But we're right. They're gonna still be in the same spot. But still, it's we still haven't had our own home since we left Michigan, and this is like the biggest blessing and like testimony to where God has gotten us and what he can do. And people ask me all the time in our ranch, or people call it a pueblo, they're like, why are you building your house so big? And there's a reason for that. When, like, for example, me and my husband are staying in my mother-in-law's house. Lucy DGZ, thank you so much for Annabelle and Penelope's papas at the plaza. Thank you so much. They actually just got papas before I got on the live. Thank you. I don't remember what I was talking about.
We were talking about the moving into the house.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I don't remember where I was at because I was leaving that comment, reading the comment. Okay, let me just go to the next one. Do you both feel like it was a little easier to move to Mexico because, oh no, I remember what I was talking about now, about the house being big, sorry. We live with my mother-in-law, and she is such a blessing to let us be here. And when my children get older, because I have 4 children, if they need a place to stay or they want to stay with us, or they're like me and my husband and they're raising their kids in the same house, I want my children to know, I don't care if they have 5 children each, my home is their home for the rest of their life. There is not, I just want them to know that. And they might leave and they might go to different places, but whenever they need a place, it is always gonna be there. And it's always gonna be open, and we're always gonna have enough room. And I always wanted that for my kids and my grandchildren to know this is their home too. That's how my grandpa is. He said his home was small though, and he's always like, this home is your home. And whenever we'd go to my grandpa's, we'd walk in, open the fridge. His home was our home. And I want my children to feel that way. This home is your home. I don't care how many children you have. There's always going to be space, room, and love here. So that was one of the biggest reasons that we built it a little bit bigger. Did the house end up bigger than you thought? I remember you saying you thought it was not. Yeah, it ended up bigger than I thought, you guys. It ended up a little bit bigger than I thought. Why do you go around Mexico speaking English? Aren't you all afraid of being targeted and the kids being bullied at school? I speak Spanish in the streets. They call me Lupita, but I speak Spanish in the streets. I speak English on here just because I'm giving my like gringa experience, but we don't speak English on the streets. And no, we're not afraid of stuff like that because we're not involved in bad things.
We do speak English on the streets. You know
I mean, to each other, but not to the community.
Not to the community. I mean,
No.
but like, I don't know where that mentality comes, or maybe we're wrong. Maybe, other places are different than here, but I've never had anybody tell me, hey, you had to speak Spanish here. Not one time.
They love when we speak English. They think it's funny, but we speak Spanish to our community. I would never speak to our community in English or expect them to understand English. And I try to put myself out there a little bit more so that I can take in more. And sometimes I wish they would correct me more because I swear I say things that I don't even know how they understand me. Lalo, how come they don't build houses in Mexico like the U.S.?
They'd fall apart, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think they keep up with the climate. Like, I don't think.
No, it's extreme.
It's. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they could. You know what I'm saying? As far as I know, they use brick. I mean, they used to build them with adobe, and that kept the house extremely cool. Like my grandpa's house that's out there, that's extremely cool all year round.
Yep.
And our house, the one we're building now, feels really cool. Like you can feel a drastic change from being in the sun to walking underneath the ceiling. It is extremely cool. We get earthquakes here all the time. Um, we get.
They're
We get,
little though.
I mean, we've gotten big earthquakes. It's not like they're all little, but we do get earthquakes. And like, um, what was I gonna say? Oh, like you guys have seen it rain here. You know what I mean? We show you guys, bad rains that we get here all the time. I think it'd be more maintenance than anything, than, building it out of the materials that we build it with.
All right, let's get to some more questions. So I just started following. I saw that you just recently went to Michigan. How often do you go? If I can, once a year, but just once a year. My dad, Moonchild 57. Hi, I hope you're doing well. Just to let you know, you're always in my prayers. But she coming in. My dad built 3 homes on a 6th grade education, and on the 6th education, I think I'm reading that right. And we're all made from adobe. That is so cool. They don't build houses like they used to in the USA. No, and there's so many like things you have, like loops and stuff you have to go through. That's the hard part. Your home, if built so much better than any house in Colorado, probably the US, it is a solid, beautiful home. The houses here are made like crackjack boxes. I'm from Mesa, Arizona, and I found you on YouTube. I've been watching your family for a while. I'm telling my daughter-in-law about your family moving to Mexico from US. I just shared it on Facebook. Thank you so much, you guys. Erin, you're such a good mom. Thank you. Do you guys have a Target or Walmart? Nope, we do not. Especially, I don't think Target is anywhere besides the United States. I think I've looked that up before. Hello, we do have a Soriana. Hello from Waco, Texas, to you both and your beautiful family. Mexico is beautiful and the people speak from their heart. Yes. Okay, I'm not gonna read that. Do the beams have not gone up yet? Aaron, are you coming up close to applying for your permanent residency? All of us have that taken care of already. I taught my kids not to speak English around people that didn't understand what we were saying. It's just basically bad education and disrespectful.
Hold on. Do your kids speak Spanish? Because I can see why you would say that. But obviously my wife doesn't speak Spanish. So is it more disrespectful for me to tell her in Spanish, knowing that she doesn't understand, or is it more disrespectful for me to speak speak English around other people?
And also, I think the people here where we live know me and my kids well enough that when we are speaking in English, they know that we're not talking about them or talking behind your back. I will say though, last year, there was a new teacher at the elementary and he was younger. I mean, he looked like he could have been 17. He was probably 20, but he looked very young. And none of the elementary teachers speak English, and Abby was at a performance with me and she was sitting down and she's like, oh my gosh, the new teacher is so cute. He was standing right in front of us and I was like, Abigail, stop, And then it was a couple days later, one of the teachers came up to me and they're like, oh, our new teacher speaks fluent English, so if you need help with something, he can help. And I was laughing so hard, and I went and told Abby, I was like, now you're not going to be able to come back to any of the assemblies. You just embarrassed yourself so bad. But you don't know when people can speak English anyway, so when you're out in the city and stuff, you don't want to be talking bad about anyone. You shouldn't compare things between countries. That's not politically correct, and circumstances are totally different.
Hold on, I want to answer that.
Okay.
The only reason we do compare things is because we've lived in both places. The people that watch our channel are curious about the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Maybe they're thinking about moving to Mexico, or, maybe they have that, what if we could? You know what I'm saying? These are all things that people ask us all the time. We get these questions all the time.
Yeah, and what should we expect, or things like that?
All the time. That's the only reason we compare places. I know both places for both of us and our whole family have been a blessing. So we can't say one place is better than the other, because it might not be that way for other people. But I know, Mexico right now can tend to our needs a lot better than the U.S. could right now.
Right. And someone just on here said, in Mexico, people don't care if you speak another language. In the US, we have a lot of problems. Nobody in Mexico, and I've been to a lot of different places, has ever said anything to me about speaking English ever. I've never had like a racist experience anywhere I've been. It's always been very positive, very welcoming, and it makes me a little bit nervous sometimes because of everything going on in the United States. I don't want people to think of me as things they see on the news because I love the Mexican people and the culture. And it didn't it's not that way. People don't treat me any different and they're very kind and loving. The only time I've ever had mean comments was on some of my vlogs. Somebody might write, "You're in Mexico, you need to speak Spanish." And it doesn't hurt me because the people who love me here in Mexico know that know that I've tried putting into our community as much as I can, and I try to help as much as I can. I don't, and I've said this before, I don't show you guys all the people I help and all the things my family does for our community or people we just see on the streets because I want it to be sincere. I don't want to take my phone out and be like, okay, we're helping you, we're giving you this. I want to vlog it. So just know that also like the support from our YouTube goes to also like our community and families in need around us, which is very important to me.
It's crazy because I can almost bet you guys that even me speaking Spanish, people know that I wasn't raised here. You know what I'm saying? They could be, mean to me as well. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I've not once had anybody say anything to me about speaking English or, where I came from, because they know I didn't grow up here.
I do want to read this though. So a commenter said, "That's not true. All these people protesting Americans in Mexico complain that they don't assimilate and learn Spanish." So I've heard about that. I think you're talking about the protests in Mexico City. Now, I'm just talking from my own experiences in places I've been. I've never had that, but I'm sure if in the expat communities, for example, Chapala, I have seen some expats come into Mexico and not respect the culture. When you move, and I was taught this as a young girl, when you move to another country or you're visiting another country, you are part of that country. Don't come in as an American thinking that that's how you live. And so I do think there are some people that might come into Mexico and somebody might say something to them, but that's probably because they're not respecting Mexico or the culture as well. And that's not right. You can't come here being like that. Me personally, like I respect and love the culture. I don't expect anybody to bend to how I was raised as an American whatsoever. Very good answer, Lalo. So proud of you too. I can't imagine how hard it must. Oh, and you guys, there's somebody who lives in Chapala and they're American, but they love Mexico kind of like me. But this person must be a writer because once a week they write a story something that happened to them in Mexico. And he wrote the funniest story. He decided to be an Uber for a week and he just drove around expats and it was so funny, the people he was talking to. So if you guys can go to my Facebook page and look for that. But he posts, I don't know, once every 2 weeks, but they're so funny to read. What were you reading, hon?
Just comments. I was just reading different comments.
You own the land where you are. Does that not affect you guys? No, because my family is a original founder and it's ejidos. The people are very helpful in Mexico. It is the best place to vacation. Arandas, oh, I love Arandas. I love Arandas. PVR, Cabo, and San Felipe. I'm glad you mentioned Arandas because not everybody has been there and it is so beautiful and rich in culture. I love your family. I discovered your channel when my mom was dying. You brought me comfort and a chance to be somewhere else than next to hospital. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Thank you so, so much. That brings like joy to my heart that we can bring joy to you guys. Well, that's exactly what is happening in the US right now.
Yeah, somebody
Okay,
said a lot of what happens
go
to
ahead.
Americans that go live in Mexico without papers. I'm trying to weigh the pros and cons because we are tired of it here. I mean, that's what everybody did, right?
I'll tell you guys, there is children in the elementary school here who do not speak English, but they were born in the United States and say they came back to Mexico with their family when they were 2. And they never did their like Mexican residency or citizenship. They're considered American citizens. So Mexico right now is not strict on it, but as soon as we got here, we did the process, and it wasn't as hard because my husband was a born citizen here.
So in case you guys don't know, I have dual nationality and so do all my kids. So for Aaron to become a resident of Mexico, it would have been a lot easier than not having family here or being married to a national.
Yeah, so it's different for a spouse. It's easier for the kids, it's different for a spouse, but it's not impossible. It's not as hard as it is in the United States, but that might change, you guys. I have seen things changing this last year in Mexico. So it is something to think about if you want to go back to Mexico. But that's the other problem. Mexico upped their income to apply for a residency if you don't have a family member that was born in the United States. So you have to have a certain income to be able to apply for permanent residency.
Which is nothing new. That's been like that forever.
No, but they raised it. It's really high now.
I'm sure they raised it, but I'm saying like that rule hasn't changed. It's always
Right.
been like that. But I'm saying, there's different scenarios, just like anything else. Just like my immigration, scenario. That was different than my brother's, for example. My brother also was illegal, okay? And because he was able to leave the country on a student visa, he didn't have to leave to Juarez. He got his papers right in the States.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like every case is different. So that's kind of why I don't like talking about immigration stuff, because
Right.
I'm not an attorney. I can only tell you my experience. You know what I mean? And that's it. I mean, I can't really give you any other advice.
And then this person said they don't have any family there. They would be the first. So, but to answer that question for you, they're very lenient. They are not like anti-immigrants here. They're not searching for them. Now Mexico runs differently, and when you come here, it's best to know your locals and know how things are run and how you do things here. But also, I think once you establish yourself and everything, you might be able to move forward. I'm not 100% sure though.
I mean, I'm sure it's possible. You know what I mean? There's so many people here from other countries. You'd be surprised.
Yeah,
It's insane.
you would be surprised. Yes, there is people from other countries here. That's my husband and I. We are so tired of all this stuff going on in California. He's been thinking of moving to Mexico. What you should do is, what I would suggest, not what you should do, what I'd suggest is, if it's possible, take a 2-week vacation to wherever you would want to live, and don't treat it like a vacation though. Treat it like as if you were living there and you had a set budget and you know this is how you'd have to live, and see how you feel. It did take a lot of time to get used to differences here, but that would be a good way to go about it.
Hold on, así es. Said que si me deja pistear Aaron, no pisteo, vale. No, pues no, ya tengo muchísimo tiempo que no pisteo.
Someone had an interesting question. Do you guys know anything on lands that belong to parents that lived in the US, they pass away, then what happened to those lands?
It depends on if you're on a ejido or it's private property.
So what if you're in a ejido?
If you're in a ejido, you're kind of, if your dad was an ejidatario, you're kind of more protected that way, because it goes off of, um, the the ejidatarios, that voted you, or that see you as an ejidatario. So they would know what property you farmed, or where you lived, or whatever it was. They would know all these things, and that would back you up in court.
But sometimes people build on that property
Yeah,
if
so
it's like vacant.
Yeah, if it's private property, then I don't know how that works. You know what I'm saying? You would have to have a title for it. You'd have to have, you know what I mean, all these different documents.
And then I wanted to answer this right here. Ocean Nest 4, thank you so much. She said, my husband inherited property in a ranch, San Francisco, Jalisco, and we're so ready to leave Santa Cruz, California. Not sell our home, but rent it out. That sounds like a great idea if you could rent out your home. You can reach out to the Mexican consulate for information. Yes, you
Yeah.
can.
Man, yeah, I would Airbnb it if you live in California.
Oh, somebody, okay, I just want to let you guys know we won't answer like super political questions because number one, I don't know enough about politics. Number two, I just stay in where God is calling me. So I'm just going to answer what we can answer for you, but I don't get deep into politics and I love the Mexican community. So that's as far as I'll go with that. 60 miles from the beach or border, you get a lease. The interior you can own outright, just like in the States. The government gets to keep it sometimes. Sometimes if it's vacant for too long. When we take the road to Guadalajara from our ranch, there is so much vacant land. I can't even believe it.
I mean,
Well, it might not be vacant, but maybe their families didn't come back or take it.
yeah, there's a lot. I mean, even built homes
Yeah,
that are just
abandoned,
sitting there,
just sitting there. So yeah, I think that actually sometimes happens often. I think people want to build in Mexico and then they think, I'm gonna retire there. And we know so many people who have beautiful homes here in our ranch and they say, when I retire, I'm gonna go there. And there's a guy I just recently talked to and he said, I retire next year. He speaks English, he's been in the States for a while. And I said, man, I bet you're so ready. Your home is beautiful. You've been waiting all this time. And he goes, no, I'm really nervous. He's like, I'm nervous to not have the same income I'm used to. And I was like, well, it's okay because things on the ranch are a little bit different. He's from Chicago. And I was thinking about that. I was like, even the people who are ready to retire and move out here, they still have that fear, that financial security grips over them, even into retirement. And for everyone, I think that's hard.
Yeah, that's what keeps everybody back from doing anything. Honestly, it's just
Right.
It's just that not knowing.
How does Mexico... The sad situation for those who work a lot of years and make money to the family to Mexico to build their house, and when they got there, nothing was done. Yeah, we've heard of situations like that as well. And my mother-in-law has even talked about that before when you guys lived in the States, and they weren't 100% sure where their money always went to.
It seems like something always comes up. You know what I mean? My dad, I tell my wife this all the time. Like, I remember when I was a kid, and as far as I can remember, like going to school, my dad would always give us money before we left the house. It was either $10 or $20 or whatever it was. So me growing up, I never thought about how much money my dad made, or any of those things. You know what I'm saying? Because I just wasn't thinking about it. So when I started working like a full-time job, like at a factory, at 14 years old. And I think the first check I ever got was like $84, I think. You know, and I remember thinking to myself, like, man, what am I gonna do with $84? I mean, I had to work a whole week. What am I gonna do with $84? You know, but then I remember my dad. You know, there was four of us. So he would spend $80 right out the bat every day. You know what I mean? And now I think about it, and I'm like, man, how did my dad do it?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, cause my dad didn't work like a traditional job. You know what I mean? So like right off the bat, my mind was already different than everybody else's. You know what I mean? It was more. I've always been like a saver. I always saved money. And my dad's always encouraged that.
Right.
But my dad also was like a hustler. You know what I mean? He would hustle for everything. So you know what I mean? It wasn't ever that we didn't have money.
Well, you should explain in what way, because my husband, his dad, I don't even think went past what grade?
Third grade, probably.
Probably third grade, and he was a great man. I loved my husband's dad so much, but my husband grew up different than me. And so when one story he told me was that he used to have to dive into recycle bins and dumpsters to get things they would throw out that they could get money for, and he found National Geographic books that had been thrown out, and you got to bring them home and read them, and that was like such a core memory for my husband.
Yeah.
When I got to go to the bookstore, you know, and I'd get money for that, my husband was dumpster diving and just randomly found some books. But his dad made a good living from doing this, and I felt like that also made you a really hard worker. You were never shameful of, like, my husband worked in a lot of factories, and that was never a shameful thing. He always provided for our family.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how my dad did it. I don't know. You know, then like rent was super expensive in California. My dad had 7 work trucks. But yeah, my dad dumpster dived. I remember being like 8 or 9 years old and still being out with my dad at 11 o'clock at night. Uh, just picking up metal and paper.
Right, and it's crazy because you can see that's like emotional for my husband to talk about. And his dad did not bring him like to Disneyland, but just going to work with his dad brought so much love into their family. You know, like that's what should show you is important when you're raising your children and things like that, is so much respect and love for his dad. And someone said on here, all your financial securities and your securities need to be in Christ. And that is 100% true. That's why I'm talking when people are nervous to come back here after they retire. Well, I'm thinking, well, one of our biggest things here is the church, and people base their life around God. And at some point, you have to be like, okay, I'm going to be asked for his wisdom so I know how to handle my money. And I'm going to move forward and trust him with that. So sometimes people get that confused, like, oh, I'm just going to ask that he takes care of it. But I always tell our kids, when you ask God for something, be ready to put the work in for it, because you're going to push towards it. And where you can't do it, he's going to supernaturally fill that part in for you. So yeah, we worry about things all the time, financially, physically, emotionally, spiritually, but higher than that is our faith and our family. When y'all go for walks, I see other houses that look like they are built the same as y'all's. You must be from Texas. That's so cute. I love when people say y'all. The way the brick is laid and the way the columns look the same. Are those houses built by y'all's builder? Oh, I love saying that word. Now I'm going to say it a bunch. No, our builder has built some houses throughout here though, but that's a really looked after, skilled as a mason. So we have different masons around our ranch.
I think most of the houses were probably built by, most of the builders here.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not what you can give your children, it's what you can teach your children. Sometimes that means the most. Yes, 100%. And I'm so ready to watch you make sourdough bread. Okay, it's funny you say that because I have been feeling like I want to make sourdough bread. But what's stopping me is we have an outdoor oven and it's filled with building supplies. So once those building supplies are gone, I am going to start on sourdough bread. I promise you that because I'm ready. Hi from Aguascalientes. I want to go there so bad. They have once a year a really cool like animal fair where all the best registered animals go there. I want to go to that so bad. My parents worked the field and later did landscaping. Us kids also helped financially by working the strawberry fields during the summer. Oh wow, Connie. It's bedtime for me. Have a great week, everybody. Great live chat. Lalo and Lupita, thank you so much, you guys. I think we're going to get going as well. It's getting late for us. And if you guys have not already, please like and subscribe. Let us know where you're watching from. I don't think comparing places is a bad thing at all. Both countries are different in ways that is a good thing. 100%. I agree with you on that. In my neighborhood, people put stuff out on the sidewalks and a for free sign. It's so nice that it doesn't take long for someone to snatch up the items.
You know what's
so
crazy?
cool.
I was just reading that comment, and I remember there was a guy in Torrance. So my dad knew every like pickup day, like garbage pickup day, like around the area, okay? And there was this Puerto Rican guy in Torrance that was retired. He had adopted 2 kids, they were all grown up, and he had retired and didn't have anything to do, okay? I don't know, he was probably mid-60s at the time, probably. And this guy would go around and look for old washing machines and dryers, okay? And he had at the time it was brand new, it was a brand new Toyota Camry. And this guy would pop his trunk open and stuff a washer or a dryer or whatever it was into his brand new Camry, okay? And somehow my dad ends up running into this guy, okay? So I don't know how or what, but you know, he's over there waving at my dad. He's like, "Hey, you guys pick up scrap metal?" And my dad was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Man, you want to follow me to my house?" He goes, "I have a whole bunch of it." But I mean, we were thinking there was probably like, you know, 1 or 2 washers or whatever.
Right.
So we end up following this guy to his house, and you know, he takes us in his backyard. And Aaron, I can't tell you how many washers and dryers were back there.
Did your dad pick them all up?
Aaron, my dad thought that this guy was gonna want to sell it to us, okay?
Right.
Because I mean, I can't tell you how many washers and dryers there was. I mean, a lot, okay? I don't know if he was a hoarder or, you know, I mean, I don't know, something happened, okay? But all of a sudden he decided, well, I don't want them all anymore.
Right.
And he tells my dad, "You could have them." And my dad was like, "No, are you sure you're not, can I pay you for it?"
Yeah.
The guy goes, "Nope, I just want them out of my yard. Let's get going."
Did they work or they were scrap?
They were just scrap. He
okay.
He had picked all these things up.
Okay.
And then took them to his house.
Okay.
So I remember, you know, we must have stayed at his house for probably that whole week, just doing loads back and forth. Remember I told you guys, my dad had 7 trucks. So like, you know, we just keep loading trucks up and taking them to the scrap metal or whatever it was. I mean, it was insane. Like for me to think, okay, this guy took the time to look for all these washers and dryers, okay, scratch up his brand new car, load them into the car. I mean, he was an older guy, okay, just to give it away. Like that's not something that happens. You know what I mean?
No.
Even then, now I think like, you know, what if my dad was meant to find this guy?
No, they are. Those are like your testimony experiences. You know what I mean? Those are testimonies. That is so cool.
Isn't that crazy? And even so after that, my dad kept in touch with this guy for like a long time. I remember we painted his house twice. Like, I think oh no, his mom's mom was still alive, and she was like the nicest old lady. She was like 3 foot tall. You know how like old people get like short?
Yeah.
She was like so tiny, but she was like the nicest person, and she had had a parrot for like 90 years.
No, they can live a
Insane.
long time. Yes, Lalo's dad was somebody put on here resourceful. He was very resourceful. He was the best cook in the whole entire world. He's half the reason I love Hispanic food so much. And I remember him like begging me to try his food, and I'd be so scared. And I just ended up loving it. He was a very, very special man. So was my dad, and they passed away very close to each other. So that was really hard for me and my husband, but I do think we were so attached to our dads that it would have been hard to leave the States with them there, I think, too, though.
Yeah.
But we loved our dad. Or they would have probably moved here with us, honestly. My dad would have been here. He was such a free spirit. Oh, my family is in Alto Tanico. Oh my gosh, I love Alto Tanico. That's one of my favorite places to go. What a blessing, Lalo, that God put someone there in your life for you and your dad. Yes, a beautiful blessing. My husband has really been blessed, I feel like. Like even us just meeting each other. Most people don't meet each other like in that way. We didn't have to do like dating apps. We didn't have to do anything weird. We just kind of fell in love with each other, and we committed to each other even through the really, really hard things. And that's hard nowadays in marriages because like does commitment, I don't think people know how bad marriage can get, and how committed are you to getting through those hard times.
I think what's hard is, when you're going through that stuff, you know, you don't realize that they are blessings. You know what I'm saying? Till after, till you can look back and you know what I mean, really see like the scope of things. Because, like I said, thinking about it, I don't know how my dad did it. I don't know how, you know, me growing up, I thought everybody got $20. You know what I'm saying? Because I did. You know, I'd get home, this is still in elementary. I would get home, drop my backpack off, grab my skateboard, and I was off skating. You know what I mean? But I still had money on me. So there was like nothing for me to think about. But I wonder if that's what my dad wanted.
Right, for you not, because he had to worry about money.
Yeah.
Like he had to worry about finances. They didn't even have electricity or anything. All right, you guys, we are going to get going, but I really enjoyed tonight's vlog with all of you. If you have not already, please like and subscribe. Let me know where you're watching from. Buenas noches a todos.
Buenas noches.